Morning, everybody. Today's May 14th. We're on the home build, and today what we're going to be working on is plumbing, underground plumbing, the service to the house. So last Wednesday we had the utility company come out and they installed the meter, which I was pretty excited about. And so now I'm going to be making that connection to the meter, coming to a hose bib, and then keep going from there to the house. So you're gonna see all those connections, how I make them, codes, and that sort of thing. So I'm the homeowner, so there's things that I can do here in Oregon that allows me to do certain things. So since I like doing things right, I want you to learn the correct processes as well. So what I got going, if you haven't seen it from the previous video, is I have a PEX pipe and in a trench, and that PEX pipe is between 18 to 24 inches below grade. Up here I got my water meter that was installed. Pretty stoked about that. Kind of sad I wasn't here to see them do the tie-in to the main, but not that that would be something I would do anyhow. Main water is up there by the street, and here is the water meter. So as you can see, it is going to be a female thread, and I'm going to tie into it going down. I'll have to dig this trench out a little more, going straight to a 1-inch PEX. This 1-inch PEX is going to go straight down, 90 up, and then 90 again into that that meter. And I'm actually going to slide that box this way a little bit more because I need some more room right over here on this end. So as well as you're going to see me make all the connections for a hose bib. So as I get down here, it's a 100-foot roll of 1-inch PEX. Where that ends, I'm actually going to tee and make a hose bib. Might as well make it utilize that, so if I need to do any watering of my plants, future plants or that sort of thing, just a good spot for a tee. So that tee will probably end up, instead of it being right here, I'm going to move it down some. That gives me a little more length going towards the house. There'll be another tee and a hose bib somewhere over here near this corner, and partly because if someday I want to park an RV here, I want to be able to tie in somewhere close. So that's the plan for it. Hose bib going to be coming up out of a box like this, an irrigation box that is going to be flush with the ground because I want to be able to mow. And you're going to be seeing all the pipes. So I don't like having a tee go straight up out of my PEX. I want a 90 over and then 90 again going straight up and down, which you're going to see. And the reason, if there's any movement, I don't want it breaking that main line. It'll allow that tee over 90, tee and over 90 and up will allow a little bit of expanding, contracting, movement, that sort of thing. So less likely to wear out and break a pipe. So you're gonna see that. I like using Teflon tape in conjunction with the liquid, both. I need that extra insurance. They're underground. I don't want any water dripping, leaking. If there's just a slight drip, over time it's going to wear and become a bigger leak later, and I don't want to have to dig it up later. So that's part of the reason. So, and that's what all I've learned through the process. If I just use Teflon tape, no matter how much I tighten, sometimes it just needs one more quarter turn and I don't have it. So between the two, it helps eliminate those leaks. So, and then as well as all my connections, I got them all kind of spread out, and that sort of thing. You're going to see all that. So let's get started. So you can see here, I'm using my liquid tape, and I'm painting it on my risers, trying to get it in those threads real good. And then I'm going to put the Teflon over it. I want that extra insurance to make sure that it has a good seal and no leaks. I got 2 pipe wrenches, so I'll be using 2 pipe wrenches as well as a crescent wrench. Kind of dope those up, set them aside. I'm going to have, as you can see, 3 risers. It's going to be 3 spigots. One's going to be used during construction too, so it's going to be getting used, turned on and off a lot. Hopefully not abused, but I don't want any leaks, so that's the goal. Tape up both ends. All right, got both ends of the 3 risers doped up, and one thing you can notice is it's a steel pipe. It's galvanized steel. You might be asking, why am I going to have galvanized steel tying into pecs? Well, I want that rigid pipe, and I'm going to cover it in gravel, so about that much of it's going to be sticking up with a hose bib, and I want it to be rigid, so when water pressure is pressing against it, I want this rigid so it's not just working its way loose. It's going to be compacted gravel around it, and as I turn the hose on, I don't want that resistance, that pressure going backwards, that sort of thing. I just feel that that's a better connection. Definitely want galvanized just because it's going to be in the soil, in the ground. So here's my Teflon tape that I'm going to be using. I want you to be able to see. It's the Blue Monster, and plenty of tape. It's not the cheap stuff like the regular old Teflon tape. And you put it on in such a way so when you are turning your joint, your elbow, your spigot onto it, that it's tightening. It's not just pushing the threads off. Okay, there's that one. Flip it over and add it to the other side. Once I get it a little bit tight, or around about one, I'm going to start pulling a little harder because I want it to go into those threads just a little bit. Okay, I feel that is going to be a bulletproof connection for my hose bib. So I have a galvanized elbow tying in on one end. I use a pipe wrench on that. I have the hose bib on the other end. It's going to be in ground, covered with a lid. In my area, if I was really worried about frost and that sort of thing, my irrigation box, I'd spray foam. I might still spray foam a little bit in there just to kind of insulate it just a little bit, but get it kind of hand tight, and then you're going to see me. I want to get these all done, and then you'll see me tighten them up with the pipe wrenches. All right, now you can see me tightening this up using 2 pipe wrenches. Get that good and tight. So you can see I got a brass fitting and a galvanized fitting. You might be wondering, why do you have a mixture? Because this one's galvanized. This one's brass. Well, what it comes down to is supply and demand. Right now, materials are getting harder to come by. All I could get was one brass. I'd rather have brass, but it's a little more expensive. Only got a few connections, so it's not like breaking the bank. If I had the whole house to do in brass, it'd be quite expensive. I'll get that good and tight. Any leaks. Supply and demand. All I could get was one brass, and frankly all I could get was 2 elbows and galvanized too, so that's all they had. So lucky for me. All right, flipping it over. The direction of this depends on which one I have. Really doesn't matter. I think I'm gonna have them try to have this facing the same direction as my elbow, so going back into itself. And I got a 3/4 pipe, 3/4 elbow. I'm gonna end up having a 3/4 fitting male connecting into it for 3/4 line, and then it'll be going into a 1-inch T, so which is this here. You're gonna see that I don't need one inch going all the way through. It's not necessary, but I do want that 1-inch main going all the way to the house, and not just to the house, but to the water heater or wherever it splits off underneath there. One going to the water heater and one going to the cold side on the rest of the fittings. So I want that supply going all the way to the main part of the house. From there, I imagine the plumber's going to branch off to either 3/4 or 1/2 inch, but I'll tell you what, that's becoming really, really hard to find here in May 14th, 2021. So I'm thinking ahead, and this comes with PVC pipe. Any of the other materials, if I want it on time, I better be ordering it way in advance. So that perimeter drain, the rain drains, all that PVC pipe, I got to get that stuff ordered now. So just a little FYI, a little help. I don't like having as much material supply just sitting around, but I want to make sure I have it as well. So all right, now see, I got that facing the same direction. That's how I'm wanting it. I'm going to make my connection for my pecs, so I'm going to dope those up, get my Teflon tape on those as well. Don't need it so thick. I just want to cover those bottom sides of those threads. Okay, and then the Teflon tape after. Not the other way around. Okay, so I got 3 of these to do. And Teflon tape. Here you can see putting the Teflon tape on. Connection, fitting. This is a 3/4 male to a 3/4 pecs, and then this is eventually going to go straight into a 3/4 T, a 1 by 1 by 3/4 T. Okay, so we got that on. Having my rag, make sure I wipe my hands off. That sort of thing. Putting my 3/4 nail into the 3/4 elbow. What a mess. Don't like that being on my pecs fitting side. But using my crescent wrench, good and tight. Don't want any leaks, so trying to make this as leak proof as possible. Make sure your crescent wrench is good and tight. Before long, I'm going to be ready to install. And maybe that'll be leak proof right there, but I'm going to go till it doesn't want to tighten anymore. And that's it for that one. Just got 2 more to do. And we'll see you on the install. All right, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna dig this trench all the way up to the water meter. And one thing to keep in mind, I had my locate right through here. You can almost see this yellow line painted right there. I got a gas line underneath there. So there's no trenching with the trencher. It's all handing, and I don't want to bust into that 4-inch poly. That'd be a bad day. I'll tell you what, that'd be a really bad day if I busted into that. So that'd be going into panic mode of what to do next. Calling Northwest Natural, get your butts out here, we got a leak. That would be the best case scenario if I busted that pipe. So I don't want that to happen. I don't want to go in panic mode of trying to figure out who to call, where to go. I do have all their numbers, so I could call them if I had to. But that's not gonna happen, right? Right. All right, let's get this digging. All right, good news, we got water. So I've been busy. Got a spigot right here. And I got the water turned on right now. So if I turn that on, of course water's gonna come out. I don't want to take too much of the water out, but I did let all the air out of it. There's one spot there. And then I want to show you the connection up at the water meter. So I got the PEX pipe pushed down with some dirt filled on certain spots of it. I didn't want to fill the whole darn thing yet because I got to put a tracer wire down, and as well as if something went wrong and I got to pull it up, then you know, just having it all full of dirt, it's not gonna be fun taking it back out. So you can see how I got it 90 down, 90'd over that way, because just the natural grade. I'm gonna put this cover back on it here a little bit, but I'll probably wait till tomorrow. I want to just make sure there's none of the joints fail. Relieve the pressure at the other end. It's got a ball valve at the other end, and we'll see tomorrow. I want to cover it up just a little bit, that way nobody's really messing with it. Never know. Tomorrow is when I'm going to see if there's drips and water around each joint. If there's some drips, droplets, that sort of thing, then I would need to replace the joint. So this PEX pipe, the likelihood of that, if you do it right, is not very high. So I'm going to show you the other joint. If we're following the line here, the PEX pipe goes underneath the driveway, and I'm going to put another box right there so you can so I can wash cars and hook up to an RV or whatever I want to do. But you can see I finished trenching through there, and at the other end I got a ball valve. That way I can isolate the house for whatever if I need to do some plumbing to the house. Got a ball valve there, so eventually there'll be sidewalks here, and I'll have a cover out here to cover that about 12 inches or more in the ground. But for right now, I'm just gonna leave that ball valve there. Access for water, I turned it on, quite a bit of air pressure. Make sure you relieve that air pressure, because you won't really know that there's a leak until all that air is out, and then it starts leaking, which might be quite a time frame. So let all that out. In fact, I got my kids wet. That was pretty fun for me to watch them get wet. But anyhow, so now time to head to lacrosse game. So that's it for today. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. And as always, please subscribe to my channel if you like it. If you got any comments, leave some comments down at the bottom and that sort of thing. So I'll see you next time on the home build.